Mortgage rates lift to the upper fives with most lenders still above 6%, but it wasn't enough to deter buyers in the Portland real estate market. Let's take a look at the very latest stats and trends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you find this information helpful, and I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That'll make sure that you see more reports like this one in your feed. Now on with the show. The average sale price was up 2% over the previous week and up about 3% compared to roughly the same time period last year. That's down from the 4.5% to 5.5% gains that we were seeing at the start of September for our year-over-year comparisons. The supply of homes for buyers to purchase decreased by about 2%. As we head into the holidays, it is normal to see fewer homes hit the market and for the overall supply of homes to purchase to decrease. If you've been following these reports, you recall that buyers have typically had about 30 to 33% more homes to choose from this year compared to last year. Well, that difference has been incrementally decreasing. This last week, the difference was down to only about 25.5%, and that's starting to look like a new trend. Price reductions were down from the previous week, but still pretty high for this time of year, something that we'll continue to keep an eye on. But let's move on to the demand numbers. For the second week in a row, buyer demand this year has been seriously outpacing what we were seeing last year at this time. The number of purchase contracts agreed to by buyers and sellers this past week was up about 25% over the 2023 numbers. The week before, we saw a 30% increase. It will be interesting to see if these numbers keep up as we get closer to Election Day and the holiday season. I mentioned at the top of the video that mortgage rates are on the rise. Rates increased to about 5.875% for most of the week. That's the best case scenario on the best rate that I could find advertised. The reason for this is that we got a lower than expected report in jobless claims and some higher than expected payroll numbers this week. That sent the yield on the 10-year Treasury inching up and mortgage rates followed along. For a bit of context, the average in the Freddie Mac survey of lenders had interest rates this last week at just above 6%, like 6.12%. Last year at this time, that average was coming in at around 7.5%. So we haven't talked about foreclosure and pre-foreclosure homes in our market, mainly because there hasn't been that much to report. Although recently I have been hearing about an increase in loan defaults, specifically on FHA loans, and I've been hearing about this report nationally. We don't seem to be seeing that in our market, at least not yet. The notice of default is usually the first step in the foreclosure process, and I have not been seeing any significant increases in the numbers of notices of default for the metro area. So what's around the corner for us? Well, on Friday, we're expecting the September jobs report to come out. That report has the potential to send rates higher if the report comes in better than the markets expect. If that report comes out before I publish this video on Friday morning, I'll put the results right over here. If it's not there, then be sure to tune in next week for that information, plus all the latest developments in the Portland real estate market. I look forward to seeing you then.